Greenwood Village, they used to call this place. Such a name seems in poor taste now. There's scarcely any green anywhere. Everything around here is either withering or rotting. Even the sheep on the outskirts of the village seem listless. And as with many other villages, most if not all of the inhabitants have left at this point, seeking refuge in the towns and cities. As hard a sight as it is to see, it does confirm one thing for us. The withering of the plants here seems worse than we've seen elsewhere, so it is likely we are close to the origin for the decay in this region. My answer is still the same, Robin. As much as I know you want to help, we can't spare any ether to save this place. We need to save all we have to offer to the Herald of Nature. After that, rest assured, we'll do what we can to help in the recovery effort. One can only hope that we can end this nightmare soon. In fact, we must. Am I all right? Why do you ask? Oh, excuse me. I suppose I have been rather more dispirited than usual. To be honest, I've been feeling a little drained. Perhaps it's from our unrelenting search? Or maybe that whole Herald of Discord incident left me worse off than I thought. I've been afflicted by fatigue for the past few days now, and it only seems to get worse the closer we get to the epicenter of the decay. That is all, Robin. Perceptive as always, Robin. Yes, my health is not all that has me concerned right now. Walking through this village had got me thinking a lot. It breaks my heart to see this place in such a state. I have never been here before myself, but as I understand, Greenwood Village was renowned around here for their basket making. It was tradition passed through their families, in fact. Their technique has been passed down for a dozen generations now. They would harvest wood from the groves nearby, weave their baskets, and trade them with nearby towns and cities. They used to trade in Chesterfield quite often, and became quite popular among the citizens of the region. Now it is sadly a shadow of its former self, left to wither and fade away. Yes, I suppose you're right. Although their home may be gone, as long as the people survive, the heart of the village can live on. Still, without as easy access to the groves and thickets around their home, they will have a harder time putting their talents to good use. They could well find other work in the cities, melding into their communities. Even their traditions may die out eventually. Then, over time, the memory of the village will fade away into the annals of history, and eventually be forgotten. It rather reminds me of the fate of Suringham in the way it has become so empty. If something isn't done, Greenwood too will fade away. All that history, all that tradition, a precious piece of the kingdom's community, gone without a trace. It is hard to describe the anguish it makes me feel. Villages like this are the lifeblood of the kingdom. They provide so much of the kingdom's resources, be it food, Tools, furnishings, many of the things we take for granted. Even the traditions passed down from generation to generation provide valuable character to our kingdom. And to see such history and tradition under the threat of being forgotten forever, I suppose you would call this melancholy? It's funny. Not long ago, I wouldn't have even thought about things like this, let alone cared. The future of villages such as this would have been the furthest thing from my mind. I wouldn't have spared it a second thought. I wonder if it would have been better if I hadn't changed. If I wasn't burdened by this sympathy. Ow! That slap really hurt, Robin. Wait. Oh, gods, you're right. I need to get a hold of myself. Moping about like this is most unbecoming of me. I should be more optimistic. Perhaps the memory of villages like this can be carried on by people who once made it their home. If the villagers can make an effort to pass on their traditions, perhaps the spirit of the village can continue to live on. Even if they can't continue to live with their traditions, though, their home doesn't have to be forgotten. Memory can live on in others. Memory can be preserved in books. They can tell others tales of their old lives here, preserving their history if they have the dedication and pride for their home. Who knows? Maybe one day when the village has recovered, they can return and recover what they lost. It would take time, but perhaps one day they could reclaim this land and make it their own again. Thinking of it that way, perhaps, as long as I live, maybe Surringham too can be remembered. I appreciate the wake-up call, Robin. Yes. This is no time to be dwelling on such dismal omens. We have to keep pressing forward, so we can have a future where we can preserve and recount the past with fondness. It's a shame this place is so deserted, though. I could do with something with more taste than the same rations we've had for days on end. Wait. What is that sound? Where? Oh, I see. There is a person standing under that tree. I hadn't even noticed them. Are they some kind of straggler from the evacuation? Look, they're turning to face us. Perhaps they need help. No, they're no normal villager. What is that thing? Its skin is far too sunken to be human. Stop right there. Not a step closer until you... No! Get off of Robin, you fiend! I said, get off! Get behind me, Robin. This thing can't be reasoned with. Oh, so fast. Enough, monster. What even was that thing? It looked human, but its disposition was anything but. It's not even bleeding. Robin? What's wrong? You look pale. My side? Oh. Your dagger, it... Oh... Robin, you have to act fast. I'll keep pressure on the wound, while you wrap the bandages from a pack around my abdomen. Quickly. Robin? Robin, look at me. This is not your fault, all right? It was an accident. Now, bandages. Quickly. Yes. Just like that. I feel like I'm going to pass out. Just... Robin, promise me one thing. Whatever you do, do not heal me with the urn. Do you understand me? That ether is too valuable. No complaints. Don't worry about me. I will be fine. Robin. Robin, are you all right? How long have I been out? Oh, right. The dagger wound. I had best stay still for the moment. What about you? Are you hurt? Have you been safe while I've been unconscious? It's been quiet. Huh. To be expected, I suppose. I must just be worrying too much. Yes, my pain is probably filling me with anxiety. Something like that. Speaking of, it looks like I was very lucky. If it had pierced my side much higher, it could have gone through my heart. What? At least it didn't end up as disastrous as that. I wouldn't leave you to fend for yourself like that. In fact, even if I had met such a fate, I would still protect you, even in death. I would be the strongest wisp to ever exist. Ow. Oh. So, what manner of monster was that? It looked like a person, but it moved like some kind of demon. With speed and ferocity like that, it took all the energy I had just to keep it off of you. With how focused I was, I hadn't even noticed the dagger in my side until you stopped and pointed it out. You're right. It's not funny. It's a curious thought, though. It seemed as though its focus was on you specifically. It jumped for you first, and even when I stood my ground between you, it's like it was looking right through me. I'm sure you've had time to think. Do you have any ideas as to why it targeted you? So, you're saying that thing had very low traces of ether? Much lower than a normal person? Huh. Perhaps that does explain why it went after you. Your talents for controlling ether might have drawn it to you somehow? It might have needed to replace the ether it lacked to sustain itself. And You might happen to hold the largest reserve of that. That rather makes it sound like a starving dog, lonely and scrounging for food to survive. Almost makes me feel sorry for them. What am I even saying? Whatever it once was, what we faced was a monster, through and through. What humanity it once had seemed lost behind those feral eyes. But that begs the question, how had it lost its Sifa in the first place? I can't recall such a creature ever being sighted before. Why here? Why now? The worsening decay in this area? What would that have to do with it? Wait. No. You don't think that the decay could be starting to drain animals of their ether as well as plants? Surely that's too much of a stretch. The sheep? The listless ones outside of the village? No. No, it couldn't be. They'd been weakened as well? If what you theorize is true, we have a lot more to worry about than the kingdom's starvation. If things continue like this, everyone in Albion will be reduced to the same hollowed state. We have to go. We have to go now and find the Herald of Nature right away. Ah. Damn. Why did this have to happen now, when our task is more urgent than ever? I can't be sitting around here when so many lives are at stake. I know. I have to settle down. I just feel so powerless. I mean, what have I even accomplished lately? I got possessed by a psychotic wisp with godlike powers, and now I get stabbed while fighting off a shell of something once human. It all hardly seems real. And I have to wonder, maybe this isn't the end of it. After 2 brushes with death like this, I can't help but feel like my life is teetering on a blade's edge. Maybe next time I won't be so lucky. I don't have to go so far. But it's my duty. I couldn't go back on that. Huh. You make a good point. I suppose I can't do my duty while I'm dead. But it's not like I want to die. I just want to put my life on the line for what I want to protect. Though, is that worth giving my life for? Do I value my own life that much? But then, how can I be trusted to do my job? Ugh, it's too complicated. Huh. Look at me. Some prospective captain of the Royal Guard I am, doubting if I could fulfill my duty like this. It never used to be like this. In the past, I would travel on my own or with my fellow knights, and I could tackle whatever the world threw at me with my sword by my side. I could always trust my instincts to see me through to the next day. But now, it seems like every time I've fought to protect us on our journey, I've been left more worse for wear. Are my senses dulling? Or maybe I've been overwhelmed by all these divine phenomena? Or perhaps, is there something in the way? No, That thought was uncalled for. I sincerely apologize. I won't blame you for my own misfortunes. In fact, that might just have set my head straight. This is my choice to devote myself to your protection. It gives me joy to see you safe and free to explore the world and find yourself. I've been proud of the journey we've made, together. In my darkest days, I thought it would be no different whether I lived or died. But now, I want my life to have purpose. And right now, you are that purpose. Not just as my duty-bound protectee, but as my dear friend. I suppose you feel the same way? I thought so. Again, I'm not going out of my way to give my life for your sake. But if it came to that, I would consider it a life well spent. A more meaningful one than before I got to know you, that's for sure. So, I stand by my vows. On my life, I will protect you until we've achieved the salvation of our kingdom. Actually, such a task shouldn't be too far off, with any luck. You see, this is the first we've seen of those hollows, I suppose we can call them, which should mean the source of the decay is close at hand. And in fact, there is one suitable vista a little ways to the south of here, where we may well find the Herald of Nature's domain, the long-enduring Evermore Forest. Legends say it has stood there since before the founding of Albion. That should be our final destination. Our whole journey has led up to this, Robin. We should leave promptly. There's no time to lose. After I've had a moment. Wouldn't want me to succumb to my wounds before we get there. That would be a waste.